You know what it is, though? I think at a certain point, I realized, and I wish I knew it earlier, that you have to be okay with being blunt and being honest and allowing who's for you to just be for you. Early on in my life, I had a lot of masks up, right? So I would mask my feelings. I would mask my emotions. I would mask my pain. I would just, in a way, just lie to the world, right? About everything, because that was just what it is. I wanted to make people happy. I wanted to make people comfortable with whatever facade worked for them. So I was a different person for so many different people. And it was absolutely fucking exhausting.
I can imagine.
It was exhausting. And I had a break and I was at the low. And you were there when I was at the low. And then when I broke myself and I said, you know what? When I put this egg back together, I'm not doing this anymore. If you could appreciate me for being a loudmouth, optimistic, pessimist, sarcastic, blunt instrument, if you could love me that way, I'm for you. If you don't like me that way, fuck you. Like, literally, nothing against you, but literally and utterly, fuck you. I don't care. I don't need you in my circle because I'm not looking for friends. At this age, if I vibe with you at this age, you're a really good person. If I like you at this age,
you're very direct.
You're solid. You're a blue chip person. If anybody out there wants to value themselves and figure out if you're good or not, come to me. You might have to pay a price for taking up my time, but I will tell you, because I could see it. And I try to keep my face clean as much as I can, because that's all you have, right?
Because even if people put on masks and facades for each and every person they meet, eventually it's going to slip. You can't put that on and keep it up 24/7.
You'll be surprised how many people out there are walking around absolutely exhausted because they can't stop. Because they don't want to let people down. They worry so much about what people think about them, they don't value themselves. And I was trapped, and I wish I knew that earlier to break that cycle, because I would have been a lot better off.
Especially if it's people who you just meet randomly through the day. Do you really care what their 1 cent is?
You would be surprised. You would be surprised how many people care about what people think. From their mothers, their fathers, their sisters, their brothers, their cousins, their aunts, their bosses, their co-workers, the random person. You would... And it's so sad. It's so sad.
In the case of family, obviously.
No, don't care. I don't care.
I know with you, yeah. But in the case of family, you have persons who don't want to disappoint. You have certain values from small. And if you said, oh, I did this and I feel my parents might feel a certain way, you're going to have that. It's automatically there, not for you, but
I'm a person.
At the same time,
I evolve. So shit changes. Case in point, I had an argument with a 70-year-old man. Oh God. Right?
How about what?
He was cursing at one of my students. And my guidance counselor, we were in a meeting, and she pulled me on and said, Mr. J, this person harassing the students. And I was absolutely livid, because I've told him on numerous occasions, if my kids are maybe disturbing your peace, look for the adult. Don't talk to them directly and come to me. And this man, you know why he was upset? On their break, my kids sit outside on the bench and play dominoes.
And I guess they were entertaining themselves a little too loud.
No.
No.
The fact that the game is being played by students is a problem because the mentality hasn't changed. It's a barroom game.
How does that affect
I know. He was so upset by that. And I was like, you are an absolute stupid jackass. You are stuck in your ideology that this is so taboo and nobody outside of a barroom literally said that's a barroom game. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I literally had to walk away because he was upsetting me to the point, like if he wasn't behind that fence,
the filter would have gone.
Literally, I would have forgotten my space. And I would have.
Thank goodness for the fence.
Yeah. And I walked away after he said something. I think he said, boy, I'll bludgeon you, right? Or whatever. And I was like, are you serious? Like, that's what you would do?
How did that escalate from him complaining about a domino game?
Because he was cursing at the children. And I told him. He said, oh, come over then. And I said, okay. Because he was up on his balcony and I was way down here. So I said, let's get face to face. And he would not come from behind that fence.
Oh my God.
Mind you, I'm a big dude. I'm like 270. Right? So.
But regardless of that, so he was just randomly sitting on his porch, on his balcony,
smoking
and
a cigarette,
down.
And literally started cursing at kids. And there's one, and the kid that I'm very protective of this one particular kid because, like, he does take on energy and emotion so much. He was so upset. He was so angry because here it is. He's doing his own little thing, right? Mm-hmm. And this older person is targeted him in his space.
And for no reason at all.
And for no reason. And I wish people would realize how much they affect other people and tone it down.
Some people don't realize that words cut so much deeper than you physically doing anything to
because you don't know what a person is going through at that particular point in time.
Exactly. That lingers and that could stay with a person for the rest of their life depending on what you say.
Yeah, definitely.
But people just like, oh, I said it.
And it is what I don't care.
If you want to dwell on it, that's your problem.